Tonight's podcast is brought to you by The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Girls Gone Wild for the Nintendo Snitch.
Now available for the Nintendo Snitch. The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Girls Gone Wild.
Play as Dink, the lovably androgynous, gender-neutral hero of the game, where he must save the land of Hyrule by collecting and uniting the triforces of shame, inebriation, and carnality. Only then can he liberate Princess Zelda from the clutches of her father's reasonable rules and spread her depression and regret across the lands.
Legend of Zelda, Breath of Girls Gone Wild also contains a newly implemented crafting system. Help Dink craft bathtub meth at 2:30 in the morning to mow the yard to find hidden rupees. Also help Dink save Zelda from the dreaded Ganondorf's casting couch, whisked away high on Meth Mountain.
The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Girls Gone Wild, because this system had to have at least one good game at launch.
Nintendo Snitch. The console you didn't know you needed. Welcome back again to another grief-filled week of the Good Ole Gamers podcast. I'm Lyle McClendon, and I'm joined as always by Mr. Brandon Gentry.
Hey, go fuck yourself.
Hey, it's episode number 86.
Yeah.
February 26th, 2017. It's a Sunday. It's approximately 7:25 p.m. How you doing? Well,
pretty good.
That says it all. The man is clear and ready for evaluation.
This old kidney stone lot had to have a say in this conversation.
16 ounces of pure piss and fury.
Yeah.
Pretty sure somewhere across America, hobos have been murdered over Keystone Light. You know, they make an actual Keystone that's in a red can.
Cool.
Never seen it in person.
Me either.
I'm pretty sure it's kind of like a Sasquatch or some shit. It only exists like in fucking Pennsylvania or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's been a long weekend. Technically made 2 trips to Georgia yesterday.
Nice.
We went to see the Bodies exhibit in Atlanta, which
bunch of real dead bodies, right?
Yeah, a bunch of Chinese people acquired by a
very lucrative trade deal.
Yeah, the questionable means, I guess you could say. Like, I mean, they got them legally and stuff, but I think that like the Chinese government didn't like a few of these guys, and you know they just ended up in Atlanta now.
He still owed us $48 restitution.
Yeah,
now he's a fucking exhibit.
I know a couple of them had like some expensive surgery done to them, so I know they weren't just like no hobos off the street. So these are people who held some decent positions over there.
It's kind of funny to think about because that would be horrific to the family.
Yeah.
Like, instead of going to a cemetery or visiting an urn, you know, like normal people do, they're like, they've got our, hey, my husband's cut into 58 different sheets to show what the human body does when it's playing tennis. Let's go look at it.
It's pretty insane. Like, going through that whole place made me really want beef jerky because all the muscles there just look like just undercooked beef jerky, I guess you'd say.
Dog would be just walking around with a big red rocket missile just hanging the whole time.
I mean, it almost looks fake because the dyes they use on the bodies are so vibrant. Like, it almost reminded me of like a really grotesque episode of Gumby or something. Just all claymation. But
I just imagine this hyper-realistic Gumby and it just being like the thick shit of nightmares.
There's a bunch of tiny Chinese wieners in there, a bunch of nuts just hanging around. I mean, you could reach out and touch them if you wanted to. You're not supposed to, but you could if you wanted.
Did you?
No.
I bet you didn't.
I didn't.
I bet.
Did not.
Likely story.
Everything in there is glistening, like it's slightly moist.
Ugh.
So, hands off.
It just looks like you're walking through a set of a fucking Hellraiser movie.
Yeah.
Where are the Cenobites at?
Some of the shit.
Where's the box?
Some of the shit is pretty cool. Like, they had slices of a brain and showed where the person had a stroke. Like, you see those spots where the brain tissue kind of died from the stroke and stuff like that.
That's wild.
Yeah. All kinds of fucked up organs in there.
The way you just described it, I'm just like, imagine that scene in fucking Alien Resurrection where there's all these like little mutated alien tardlings like in glass cases everywhere.
There is a dead baby room that has a big sign up like, hey, if you're a pussy, don't go in here. I'm like, I'm not a pussy. Fuck you. I went in there.
Do you leave your shoes on and jump on a couple of them?
Maybe. Well, it's like 9 or 10 fetuses going from like, I think week 8 to week, I don't know, 20 or 30. Yeah, 20, I think.
The bad thing is those are probably like those moms probably sold those fetuses for like a bottle of Jaeger.
Could have.
That's so terrible.
What's
his little name? Never had a chance.
One pretty brutal thing I saw right beside that. I can't recall the scientific name for it, but it is where the fetus started forming in the fallopian tube. It was brutal. Like, I mean, it was like the size of a quarter, but the fallopian tubes aren't meant to get that wide. And if you look close, you can see the little fetus still like preserved in it, where it just like burst out like a chest burster. And this poor woman, she probably bled to death from it.
Oh, that's fucking terrifying.
One of the coolest parts is they had a whole human circulatory system where I guess they injected it with some kind of preservative. It's just
the veins, isn't it?
Yeah. They like injected it with some kind of preservative and dissolved the rest of the body out away from it. So it's just like this big spider, I guess
bundle of
spider web shaped like a human, and they have that for all the different organs separate out too. So
God, that's freaky.
It's pretty cool.
I'd actually like to see it. Just, I mean, that kind of shit's interesting.
They have a whole human sliced up through a deli slicer, it looks like.
It's probably the lawyer from 13 Ghosts.
Could be.
They're like, hey, that guy's already cut in half. That saves us a little work. If we can get somebody that's good with a fillet knife, we'll take it from here.
It was like head to down, like mostly transverse cuts, which are like, side to side.
Yeah.
Like deli slices, like I said. And it's supposed to like show yep. It's supposed to mimic like what you would see on an MRI, except, on an MRI you don't cut someone up into 30,000 pieces, but it's pretty cool.
That's pretty neat.
I ain't got to do a final my anatomy class now because of that, so.
I ended up taking a last minute trip. Oh, that's the payoff.
Well, yeah, I got to write a paper on it, but it's like a 7-paragraph paper. So.
Just about what you've seen and all that. Yeah. That's the majority of writing papers is just bullshitting elegantly, making things sound good.
The second trip to Georgia is because we I missed the last exit out of Georgia because we were meaning to stop, and the last exit out of Georgia, you don't see shit on the side of the road till it's done too late. So unless you know which exit you're going on, you shit out of luck. So we missed that one. Turned around. It's like, man, before we go back to Alabama.
Nice.
So we turned around and got 40s and scratch offs.
That's high class living.
Hell yeah.
Let me tell you.
Hell yeah.
I'd done that a couple weeks ago. Went up Tennessee line and bought a couple of those. Well, I mean, you seen them Juicy J Colt 45. Didn't win shit. Did you win anything? Did you get some scratch offs?
Yeah, we got 2 scratch offs and 4 lotto tickets. So we'll see about the lotto tickets.
Well, if you win like $300 million, just give me one.
I think 40 million's the thing, but
cool. I'll take 500,000.
All right,
settled.
We'll just be podcasting professionally after we win that.
You win that, we're moving on up. We're getting an office building.
Hell yeah,
for fucking shit we don't even need. I'm like, God damn it. Charge it! God damn it, we're moving on up. Charge it. True American way. Charge it. Anywho, I took a late random trip to Pints and Pixels last night. Almost too crowded to enjoy. First time ever. They were doing like Mardi Gras shit in Huntsville and Decatur yesterday, so it was uber packed. I got some real good footage of Emma slaying some pinball, though.
Nice.
Man, she's badass at Ghostbusters. She hit
Really?
like 45 million last night. Got a free play.
God, I've been pining for a pinball machine so hard here lately because
that's all I about did last night. They got that Revenge of Pinbot, Bride of Pinbot.
Yeah,
or
that's a
whatever.
good one.
They got it up there now for 50 cents, dude. I wore that motherfucker out last night.
Every time I look at all this Disney trip shit and I look at my savings account, I'm like, man, I could just say fuck this trip and just go just throw a fucking meteor of money at some pinball dealer. Like, give me a fucking Spider-Man pinball right now.
You could just come home and you're like, family, fuck y'all. We ain't going nowhere.
If you stop your bitching, you might get to play it.
Then, one day on your deathbed, they're going to be looking at you like, you remember that motherfucking time we were going to Disney World? You fucked us for a pinball machine? And you're like, yeah. And they're like, we do too. They just pull the cord. That's terrible. I hope nothing like that happens, but I'm just saying.
The machine that says tilt across it.
Danger. Yeah. Danger. That's awesome. Oh, God damn it. It's that extra ball was lit. I found out I'm pretty good at Indiana Jones pinball. Sweet. Every time I've went up there and played it, I've got a free play off of it.
Hell yeah.
If you know anything about the Indiana Jones movies, it's got there's a compartment that says Temple of Doom, there's a compartment that says Last Crusade, and then there's a compartment way up top that says Raiders of the Lost Ark. And the Temple of the Doom one is literally almost right directly in line with the left flipper. So if you wait and let the ball get at the bottom of the flipper, you're almost guaranteed to hit it. And you hit it 3 times in a row and get multi-ball.
Hell yeah.
And you get 5 balls at once during multi-ball. I racked up a shit ton of points doing that.
Sweet.
They got something new that we're going to talk about in a little bit. But let's just kick off some news. If you're in the know, I'm sure you are. Next Saturday, woo! Ooh, the sequel wasn't as potent as the first one.
No,
never usually is. We're a week away, or not even a week. Technically, 4 days away from Switch launch because it launches at midnight Thursday.
Okay.
I'm going to go pick it up Thursday night. I figure me and you'll be playing it all weekend. We're going to have a little get-together Saturday, and hopefully, if all goes to plan, according to plan, we'll be able to throw something up like a Twitch cast or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just show us fucking around with it. I'm going to set 3 TVs up in there and put a Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and a 64 on them. And I'm thinking about just to block this room off, moving my cab in the doorway there and having Nintendo set up on it.
Yeah.
So, because, as much as... Here, the quandary I'm having right now is I only bought Zelda. And I wanted to get something that we all can play. So I'm going to pick up... I'm selling a couple of my other game shit to be able to pick up Super Bomberman R. And I'm going to try to pick up that Fast Racing RMX. I almost talked the reason I'm bringing this up, you'll make fun of me for this. I almost talked myself another night. I'm like, maybe I should get 1-2 Switch just for the get-together. And I got to think about it. And I'm like, ugh.
But the last time it's used, probably.
Yeah. I kind of want to wait till that's like a $20 or $30 greatest hits game at some point, because it will be.
Yeah, it's
Surely.
like a no-lose situation on waiting on it, because if the system gets massively popular, that's probably going to be a bargain bin game at GameStop or wherever.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, you're going to be glad you didn't buy the $50 piece of shit.
Yeah. Which I'm glad to do the Breath of the Wild things. That's going to be something we can pass it around and let everybody, because I knew Zelda is always something fun to experience, especially, when the scope of Breath of the Wild. I want to play the other one though, too. That sounds great. Too. Sounds great. Something about there's like a mode where you can, on Legend of Zelda that is, you can break into houses and rape hobgoblins.
Hell yeah.
Sounds like a good time. But anyways,
rape is always a good time.
We're doing that next Saturday. I've invited a few people, so if y'all got any Switch or Nintendo related shit for us, this next coming week, now'll be the time to call us, send some shit in.
If we happen to get a Twitch going, I think it's still twitch.tv/Good Ole Gamers.
Yeah. If we can't do that, at least we'll record a podcast that night and just kind of get everybody in here and just talk about it. I figure it'll end up being a bigger episode, so
yeah,
it might take us a little time to get it together. It's going to be a special edition. It's a launch edition, so groovy and all that shit. I'm pretty excited though. They've been having problems with the Switch though. I've seen.
Yeah, I saw the Switch Joy-Cons are reportedly having connection issues.
The left one in particular is what I've been reading a lot. Apparently, it becomes unconnected via Bluetooth. Pretty frequently.
I saw it's really easy to block the signal off with just your hand meat. So that's a bad sign considering that your hand meat is on it.
Well, there's one hand meat. There's one user I seen that was actually reporting about the problem, and he said Breath of the Wild was unplayable using the Joy-Cons. He had to break out the Pro Controller.
Huh.
All I can say is I'll just be fucked because I'm not spending $70 on a fucking Wii U Pro Controller with a different fucking attachment on the end of it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. Not right now, anyways.
Let's see. I'll get the rest of my Nintendo fuckery out of the way. Nintendo sues a Japanese country called Mario Co. That company lets you rent Mario, race Mario Karts. Like literal Mario Karts, and you get to dress as Mario when you do it. I saw the carts. The carts don't break any kind of intellectual property, but they're suing them because you get to dress up as Mario and Luigi and race them. I'm like, it's kind of fucked, Nintendo. You're making the costumes and you're suing people for using them.
I mean, you don't mind people looking like it on Halloween, what's the fucking difference?
Oh, that's the next step. They'll be suing kids for profiting via candy.
Oh my God.
On Halloween. I mean, it does skirt the edges of the laws as in being that they're profiting off of Nintendo's intellectual property, but at the same time, it's like, Nintendo, you got enough problems like trying to be cool. Just fucking pick them up. You're wanting to do like a Nintendo World or whatever over there? Fucking make this part of it. Like, hey
no
guys,
shit.
How about we like get your fucking company, swallow it like an amoeba swallowing a smaller microbe, and y'all just y'all do this shit.
It's fucking
do it for real. We get some real looking Mario Karts out here.
Ridiculous. I seen there's some like they're announcing or fuck. I'm sorry, but my brain just went crashed and shit. What I was trying to say is I'd seen some shit where they were talking about the original Mortal Kombat movie, and like there's old movies. There's always new shit coming out about them later on. From people telling story behind the scenes shit. And do you know that before Christopher Lambert was to play Raiden, who the original casting choice for Raiden was?
No.
Danny Glover.
Oh, he's so old for this shit.
Dude, my fucking thoughts exactly. I just imagine him like fucking electrocuting shit out of Shang Tsung. He's like, oh, I'm too old for this shit.
I'm just wanting to play chess in the goddamn park. I'm too fucking old for this shit.
Me and Joe Pesci just filmed Gone Fishing. that should tell you how old I am. I ain't no goddamn God of Thunder. Too old to be that shit. I thought that was pretty good.
I got some brighter news. The $10,000 SNES package I saw talked about that was lost in the mail. It was found in the mail.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So nobody did steal it.
Well, I don't know.
Or maybe they stole it and seen the heat get on it, and they're like, I'm dropping this back off in the mailbox.
The media started giving a lot of attention, and all of a sudden, someone from USPS is like, oh, hey, I might be able to help you there. So I'm kind of wondering, if it was a backup, it could have been. It could have been, all innocent. But I'm kind of wondering if someone backed out of it because they had some pretty rare shit in there, and it probably wouldn't have been hard for people to be seeing this shit for sale on eBay and seeing all the same games that were in that package start going on sale on eBay from the same location.
Yeah, the feds be fucking swinging in through fucking window and zip lines and shit.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of money, but giving them up a career in the post office, that wouldn't be worth that.
Oh, fuck no.
So, yeah, apparently the Nintendo Preservation Project is no longer dead. So, good.
Yeah. About time some shit, like, some just things happen, I guess, in the gaming community. So there's always a bunch of tomfuckery that goes on.
Yeah.
Something I thought was pretty cool. It comes out on March 28th. PlayStation 4 and PC is getting a port of a game called Old Time Hockey, which is an M-rated arcade hockey game.
Fuck yes.
That is coming out. There's a trailer for it out. It's going to be coming to Xbox One in Q2 and Nintendo Switch Edition at a later date.
Did you say it was hitting PC?
Yeah. Yeah, it's PC and PlayStation
what kind
4
of,
first.
Is it full 3D graphics or old school?
It's 3D, but it looks like... it makes me think of like Blitz or something like that, kind of.
Maybe it'll run on my arcade PC.
Here, I'll show you I got the trailer for it pulled up. I'll show you. Oh, there's that Nintendo Snitch Snap. Well, there's an ad, of course. It's pretty much, it's kind of like, it makes me think of like NHL 93 on Sega. Mm-hmm. It's kind of got like that top-down view, but it's 3D graphics.
Okay.
It
could very well be playable on a low-end PC.
It takes place in the 70s. Like, it's got that 70s kind of like slapshot vibe to it. Some skaters, like, in the trailer, don't even have helmets and shit. They just you can beat the fuck out of each other. There's the trailer for it. But, it's got, like, there's several control options. It's got a control option where you got your standard, like, 2-button mode. I think it's, like, pass and shoot. Or, like, punch and kick or whatnot in the fight modes. But it's got a control option on the game called beer mode. It's meant where you can play the game one-handed while holding a beer. Huh. So I don't know how that's going to work, but...
I hope they keep in mind that people might want to put this on an arcade cabinet and they'll have a control scheme for 8-way.
Yeah. I think it'd be pretty cool, though. I do like some of even though I don't really know jack shit about hockey, I do enjoy some of the older hockey games, like Wayne Gretzky on N64 I really liked. And, of course, like NHL 93 is fucking great. And speaking one thing about sports, I didn't get to bring it up last week because I forgot about it. There's a new Mutant League football coming out.
Yeah.
That could be cool.
Yeah. Definitely, man.
What else you got?
Last thing I wanted to talk about is the Pillars of Eternity 2 Fig crowdfunding is done. They had a massive surge at the end of it. They hit 4.4 million. Yeah. So I mentioned last week, I think it was, that they might be doing relationships and sidekicks. They blow them out of the water. So beyond that, they got more ship upgrades, because in this game, instead of a fortress, like in the first one, you get a ship and you can upgrade it and stuff. That's your base of operations. They had Uncharted Islands, which says, I'm guessing, the secret islands you can find. New ship types, so I guess you're not stuck with one type of ship. You can get a handful of different ones and stick with your favorite. And intelligent weapons, which are always a favorite thing in other games, where your weapons, a legendary weapon that has thought. It levels up and it talks to you and has a personality, that kind of thing. Yeah. So, all in all, it looks pretty sweet. I'm excited for it.
It'll probably be good if it's something that gets you excited.
Yeah.
You unexcitable motherfucker. Nothing but doom and gloom around here. There a couple more quick tidbits. Shadow of Mordor sequel has been announced, called Shadow of War.
I still never played the first one.
I've heard from a lot of people that it's actually really good. I know my friend Kyle, he raves about it. He says he thinks which he likes he's like me. He likes like Metal Gear, stealthy games and shit. And he said that kind of plays a part of that one. So
Okay.
I figure I would like it. Resident Evil: The Final Chapter, the movie, opened in China bigger than the Rogue One Star Wars.
Huh.
I'm guessing. I watched that movie via bootleg. And it's a piece of shit. I mean, go figure. The rest of them are really bad, too.
Yeah. In a way that makes sense. I know over there Star Wars is not nearly as big as a deal as it is over here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Star Wars, that's pretty much a fucking... It is an American cultural thing, so...
Yeah, it's a very westernized film.
Yeah, understandable. There was some player that died. Some unknown player or some shit. He died the other day trying to do a 24-hour Twitch cast. I'm trying to remember the guy's name.
I wonder if it recorded.
Brian Vignot had spent about 22 hours playing the online war game World of Tanks on the streaming platform, and he was raising money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. He stood up from his computer to take a smoke break, and then
blood clot, probably.
Yeah, he fell over and died. Is it people just not moving their feet when they're playing, or?
I'm guessing they're just sitting there the whole time.
Like sitting there for 40 and 50 hours straight, I guess.
Yeah, that's one thing about the long arcade runs is you're standing that whole time.
Well, they said he took enough break. I don't know. It said he took a bunch of breaks to prevent blood clots, so... Hopefully I don't have to worry about that. I don't sit on my ass generally for more than a few hours at a time and play, and then I'll get up and go piddle around. On my days off now, I have been known to lay around on my ass for many hours, but hopefully it don't kill me.
Yeah, I've been known to meld with my computer chair.
Just become one with the chair.
Like, honey, get the shears. I need to cut myself out of the mesh again.
Every time you go and play your PC, you turn into a fucking extra from John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yeah.
What the... You gotta be fucking kidding me. Well, I reckon that's it for news. Well, what are we going to talk about this evening?
I'm going to be talking about Berserk and the Band of the Hawk.
Very nice.
It is a Muso game, which is a Dynasty Warriors game. Is released on PC, PS4, PS3, and PS Vita.
This is the new one that just came out, right?
I've got it on PC. My plan is, because this is a very niche game, I'm going to wait maybe next year or the year after when this game is like a bargain bin game. And I'm going to buy me unopened copies for all those systems just to collect, because
nice.
There's no physical PC version, and I don't want a physical version just to have. So even though my stepson's got a PS4, even though I don't have any of them systems for myself, I just want the game.
I feel you. That's how I'm doing with Stardew Valley. I already have it, but I want the physical one just to put on my shelf and look at.
It's making me want to go back and play the PS2 Japanese game, which I got to get that from my buddy Juice. Yes, I bought that and a PS2 just because of that game. But yeah, it's I don't know. I'm mixed about this. Like, as a fan of the game, I'm just super excited to have a game. There has its fair share of flaws. It's not the most well done ode to Berserk, I guess you could say. The storyline of the game takes place in the beginning of the Golden Age, is where the 97 anime and the 3 movies take place. And it goes all the way up to, I think, through the Millennium Falcon arc, which is a somewhat newer arc. It's still a few years dated. but it's the most coverage any one piece of media has done of Berserk, so it goes through a lot of it. I haven't beaten the game yet because I haven't had any fucking time hardly, but I'm like 6-7 hours into the game so far.
Nice.
Throughout the whole Golden Age section of the game, you have cutscenes that uses the movie clips from the movies, the three Golden Age movies, which those are not the best ones, I'd say. I really like the 97 anime better, but it is what it is. I understand that the movies look better to most people because it has newer graphics and...
Well, I'm not super knowledgeable about the Berserk series, but I know quite a bit about it through you, and I do enjoy what I've seen. I like the older animation style definitely a lot better.
And, you know, the old animation style, that was done by the people who make all the Pokemon movies. That's like the only thing they've done, I think, is Berserk and Pokemon.
Well, back then, too, everything was still hand animated. You know, they didn't have computers running models that simulate animation and stuff. Which, my battery's dying, Brandon.
Oh, hell. I think you'll live.
Yeah. What would I do without my cell phone?
The whole game, the voice acting in the whole game and in the movie clips is all in Japanese, and it's only got English subtitles. It's not a huge deal, but I would prefer English dub because fuck reading. I mean, I love to read, but not for visual.
You're already having to fucking mind the game and everything else.
Yeah, even when it's not in cutscenes, like when you're playing the game, the characters will be talking back and forth, and you pretty much just got a choice to pay attention to what you're doing or read the text. So that sucks. I've seen a bunch of these weeaboo fucks on the Steam discussion forum saying, "Oh, we don't need a dub because dubs suck." I'm like, fuck y'all. One, if they use the voice
opinions are like fucking assholes. Everybody's got one, you know.
And I hate these weeaboo fucks that just absolutely hate dubs. I mean, there might be some series I don't know about that the dubs are just shit. Berserk is one that doesn't apply to. The dubs in Berserk are fucking great, and half the voices some of the voices in this Japanese voice don't fit the fucking character. Like there's one character, Wild. This is the first piece of media besides the manga that's featured Wild. He's basically a big rape monkey, and he has the voice of like this fucking 25-year-old desk jockey. I'm like, that doesn't fucking fit him at all. He says, you know, it's very nasally and not a big...
Translation, I want to know where some sailors are at.
Like in the manga, this guy like rips trees out of the ground, and he has this shitty ass little punk voice. I'm like, this doesn't fucking fit. Fuck you, weeaboo fucks. I want an English dub with people with balls speaking, you know?
Yeah.
So
that's one good thing about American dubs, like, because America's stereotypes for like movies and shit is the hero is always like the big burly bad motherfucker with the slow drawn voice, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and so, I mean, anytime you have that kind of character, especially in anime, is like I've noticed, you know, the voices fit. Like if it's ever a big dude, they sound like this. They don't sound like this right here, you know.
Because the Japanese voice for Guts fits, and Casca and you know, Griffith and them, they fit, but there's a few that really stick out like a sore thumb, and I'm like, they could have done better.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I fucking hate these weeaboo assholes.
Keyboard warriors, man, are prevalent.
Yeah, and they're always like, "Oh, well, the Japanese voice acting is so much better." But how do you fucking know you can't speak Japanese?
That's kind of what I wanted to ask. But like, can you fluently read and speak fucking Japanese? Like,
if you don't fucking know if the voice acting is good or not. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, they could be sitting there and just talking in Japanese. You'd be like, just kind of fucking nodding your head every 3 or 4 syllables. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Anyways, the storyline is very heavily censored so far because they wanted to make this a mature game and not adults only. So even in the anime clips that they show, like all nudity's cut out. And I guess that's really most of it. A lot of the gore is cut out of the game too. All the Berserk games feature tons of dismemberment because Guts is fighting with massive goddamn swords, and usually when he hits something with a massive goddamn sword,
it fucking separates.
Yeah. Well, in this game, the only time anything dismembers is if you go into the frenzy mode, and that's, not all the gameplay. Versus, sort of the Berserk Guts Rage on Dreamcast and the Berserk game on PS2, fucking anything you kill just fucking explodes. I know they wanted to make the frenzy things feel better. They could have just made things explode even more violently. There's no limit to the amount of explosions you can have these guys do.
Even the blood bleeds.
Yeah.
Even the arterial sprays bleed.
Yeah, the parts that exploded off the normal one explode again.
Like you get microscope. There should be, how in fucking like Mortal Kombat they do the X-ray scenes. There should be like a thing where it's like an arm explode, and then it zooms in, blood explode, and then it zooms in. You see the cells explode.
Yeah.
And then it all zooms out. Michael Bay's in the background just punching himself in the dick and grinning. He's like, well, we'll make a fortune off of this. Just packing just packing his nuts. Oh, sleep deprivation is a motherfucker.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's fine. But the story, I would say, is very disjointed too. If you don't know what's going on, you're not going to know what's going on from this. If you've already read the manga or at least watched the anime, you know most of it. But the English subtitles too, there's a lot of typos and shit that's done wrong in it, so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense there either. But beyond that, the good things, the character models are all fucking spot on. They look amazing. The animations are all pretty good. One thing I will say, in some of the cut scenes that aren't from the movie but are using the game's graphics, sometimes it shows Guts getting pissed and it just looks weird because he has this cartoonishly big angry expression on, and it's like it's not how he.
It's kind of out of place.
Guts is cool, calm, and collected for the most part. When he gets pissed, he gets really pissed, but it's not in this cartoonish way.
He's not just like pitching a fit kind of.
Yeah,
deal. He's more the dude that won't say shit and walk into the bar and kill every motherfucker in there.
Yeah,
and then just walk out unfazed.
I mean, in the manga and the anime, he does lots of screaming, but none of it's cartoonish. It's hard to explain. I might have to just show you one day. It's
I kind of think I get what you're talking about, though. Like, the difference between like the serious anger in anime and like the fucking, I guess like the cartoony anger.
Yeah, like
anime.
Almost impossible to make facial expressions. And they're just held for awkward amounts of times too. Like they'll be in dialogue and it shows Guts get pissed, and he just makes this like this massive like.
I wish I had a picture of the face you just made hanging up somewhere.
This massive, I don't even know what to call it. A growling
Smirk.
scowl. He's just, I don't know.
He's just kind of between pissed off enough to like, I'm going to either cleave you in twain or I'm going to fuck you to death.
Yeah.
One of the two. Maybe both. Hell, I like the party.
It reminds me if Butthead from Beavis and Butthead got really fucking pissed. Like that. That's the face he's making.
He just fucking murders Beavis.
Yeah.
Like stabs Beavis to death in the bathroom.
The gameplay wise, of course, like most Muso games or Dynasty Warrior games, has a shitload of playable characters. I've read that there's not enough compared to other ones. I don't play a shitload of Dynasty Warrior games. I don't know. So far, there's more than I've been able to play because the main character, of course, is Guts, and the way the Dynasty Warrior games work, at least all the newer ones, I don't know about the older ones, I don't remember. When you can level any character up to your highest level character by paying for it. So to me, I'm like, since most of the storyline I can only play as Guts, I'll just level Guts. And if I want to play as someone else, I'll just pay the money to level them up to Guts level. And I'll fool with them a while and just continue on to Guts. So that's who I've mainly been playing with. I played some as Casca and I played some as Zod, which is pretty damn cool. I know I think you can play as Wild, which is the big rape monkey. I haven't unlocked him yet. I know later on you can unlock Femto, which is the big death demigod that Griffith turns into. That'll be pretty cool. I think you got pretty much 100% the game to do that, but I'm going to do it.
Now, the Dynasty War game, is there boss battles in those games after like so many waves and onslaughts?
Yeah, it varies by the scenario.
Is it kind of like tank bosses? Like, do you have a bunch of other little enemies around and like one boss that you have to slowly work down? I have honestly never played any of those games, so I'm
for the most part.
I get the basic premise.
For the most part, when you're facing the boss, if there's other little guys around, those guys are just there for you to kill and build frenzy. They're a non-threat, really. Even on the hardest difficulty, just don't let them hit you. They stand there and stare at you forever before they actually swing. So as long as you're moving around, or you're not like, or you're aware of the ranged characters, the ranged nobody characters prevent the most threat because they can be a good ways further back and still hit you. So you not even notice that they're there, but they're shooting arrows at you. The little guys aren't a problem. The bosses in the game, some of them are difficult because some of them pretty much will stun lock you.
Just waylay the fuck out of you.
It focuses on you being very mobile for those bosses. Because if you just try to hack and slash them like all those little guys, you're just going to get destroyed.
So do you have like a roll feature?
Yeah,
and all
you got.
that?
I think A on the 360 controller for the PC is dash. And dashing around gives you a few seconds of invulnerability in the animation, and it gets you from point A to point B quick. And you can chain together your strong attacks by alternating the A and in this case Y. So you can dash, strong attack, and that's a pretty good strategy. It's not the most precise as far as aiming, because sometimes it's hard to aim your dashes. I guess to talk about the basic mechanics of the game. You got your normal attack, your strong attack, your dash. You got your frenzy mode and a death blow, which is a special move you can do in frenzy mode. After you kill enough dudes, you can do a special charge up attack that kills like everything in the cone in front of you. It varies on the character too. Then you can block, and blocking is damn near useless. I've never found a situation where I want to block. I'd rather just dash. And you can use sub-weapons. Guts is sub-weapons once you hit the Black Swordsman mark, or badass. Before that, they're almost useless. Golden Age era and stuff, he has throw knives. Doesn't do much. The most they do is they'll, on the humanoid characters, it'll start an animation where they grab their guts and fold over, and then you can waylay on them for a little while. Black Swordsman era, though, Guts has the arm cannon. And the arm cannon fucks shit up, as an arm cannon should.
Nice.
So, it's also got items that you can use. These items do minor things like heal you, give you a little more frenzy. The most useful one I've found so far, if you plan on picking up the game, is always have dice equipped. You can pop dice, and characters just fucking drop money like crazy. And money's always useful.
Always.
The game hasn't been that difficult so far, but it's ramping up difficulty. And if you want the most difficult experience you can, there's other game modes. There's the free story mode, which is you can play through any of the story missions as any character. So if you want to go back and play through, Guts' earliest battles as fucking Zod, yeah, you can do that. Then there's the Endless Eclipse mode, which is where you go through levels like 1 through 99 of the Eclipse, which is basically an abyss made out of human faces. I don't know how else to describe it. And the last,
kind of like the background, is it Gygas?
Yeah, kind of.
Got like all the faces.
Yeah. I've read that the last 10 levels of that are pretty fucking intense. I haven't played much of that mode yet, so I'm gonna do that after I finish.
I was gonna say, I'm sure you'll have the game 100% at some point.
Yeah, I'm planning on 100% in this game eventually. I'm trying to think what else is there to talk about. There's an item crafting and gathering system. You can equip 3 accessories. Those accessories have skills attached to them. Those skills are like, they do things like up your attack or make it easier to stun enemies, that kind of thing. And you can combine those items together to custom make your own items, your own accessories. Yeah. And I found that it's best to just fucking buy all the crafting items you can and just hold on to them, because towards the end of the game you get the best stat items, and then you just use all your stuff to customize in rather than wasting them on these lowball shit items earlier in the game that you're going to toss later. So that's all I'm really doing with that. I've made a couple items not using many resources to do, and that's getting me through.
Nice.
There's mounted combat. You can if you press the left trigger on the Xbox 360 controller, you whistle for your horse, and your horse comes through, and you can mount it, and you can run around with your sword, mincing up enemies. The horse is kind of awkward to me, especially if in tight spaces, and I guess a horse would be awkward in tight spaces, so I guess that makes sense, kind of. I usually just use the horse to get from point A to point B, and I hop off of the horse and do my combat there.
Man, I was just sitting here trying to fathom, like, being Guts and trying to use that big motherfucking sword on back of a horse. Like, I was running that through my head, and I'm like, fuck.
That comes up in the manga when he's, there's one scene I remember, he's making an escape from somewhere, and he's swinging the Dragon Slayer on the back of that horse. And he's like, oh shit, if I keep this up, I'm going to cause the horse to top over.
Nice. Fuck yeah, it's just like man, that's what I was imagining. Like, you just got to swing the sword, you're just like, oh shit, just fall off the horse.
Yeah.
Christopher Reeves the fuck out of yourself. Yeah. Well, Guts is no longer being a mercenary. He's sucking pudding through a straw down at the retirement village. Whoops-a-daisy. Not so super anymore, are you? Terrible.
Some of the game don't make a lot of sense, the way they went about it. Like every time you beat a level, it says victory, and it has the brand of the sacrifice in the background. I'm like, it's not really like a symbol of victory, though. It's like a symbol of eternal damnation.
The exact opposite.
Yes. And
opposite end of the polar spectrum.
And I don't know, have you played Hyrule Warriors?
No, that's one of the few Zelda games.
It's pretty good. I'd recommend
3,
it.
I think.
But in that game, there's the golden skulltulas hidden around, and if you kill them, you unlock some shit. It's kind of the same thing in Berserk. They got Baelits, which is little egg faces that played a major role in the story, but like you acquire those from doing like basic mission stuff in the game. Sometimes it's the challenge, like do something in a certain amount of time, but for the most part, it's stuff you're going to be doing anyway, so you're not looking around for shit that you don't want to be looking for. Yeah. But at the same time, it doesn't make any sense. Like I kill random guard officer number 33, and he has a bayonet. I'm like, well, that guy must have been quite the badass, because he's about to betray all his friends and become a fucking demon. Like, it killed a catapult and it has a bayonet. I'm like, oh, that catapult's going to betray all his other catapult friends and get them up to sacrifice.
He's kind of like the friend that smokes all your pot, smokes all your reefer, and then comes a cop and busts your ass.
Yeah.
That son of a bitch.
Fucking catapults, can't trust them.
You can't, man. There's some shifty motherfuckers.
But I played through the Eclipse in the story mode. I'm into this started the conviction arc of the Berserk storyline, and the Eclipse mode was really disappointing. Because the Eclipse, is anyone seen the anime or read the manga, as this I don't know, it's a really shocking part of the story, and it's a really I don't know, hopeless part of the story for Guts, because he's facing off against thousands of these gigantic death monsters, And in the game, when you play through the Eclipse, there's like 2. And the rest of them were just like small demon-looking guys. I'm like, man, why? You should have made this so fucking oppressive. You should have made this, if not the hardest part of the game, one of the hardest parts of the fucking game. None of these little guys should even be here. Just be nothing but these massive motherfuckers. It's just a missed opportunity there. Even at the start of the game was very I don't know. It's a huge missed opportunity too. The start of the game, you start off in the Eclipse, and it's a dream that Guts is having at the beginning of the Golden Age. So he's dreaming himself as Guts in his current state in the manga, which is like with the Berserker armor and the Dragon Slayer, so
fully OP'd at that point.
He shouldn't even, he shouldn't be having a dream about this shit. But whatever, that's the way the game's doing it. But you're going through the Eclipse, and you eventually come across Femto with a almost fully naked Casca, like he's got her hostage. I'm like, man, you're ruining like such a huge. Normally the series builds up to that point so well. Instead, you're just like tossing it out there at the beginning.
Yeah, you're just kind of like, well, they're kind of, I guess, assuming that you already. I guess they assume that fans would already know up until that point.
If you already know, it's not a huge deal, but I imagine
still, it kills the overall, like.
Yeah, it turns Griffith / Femto from this like horrible fucking person / monster into like the bad guy from Fist of the North Star, where it's like, might makes right.
Yeah, it kind of. I don't know the word. I wasn't going to say like dehumanizing. It downplays them.
Yeah.
Big time.
And plus, if you don't know anything about the game, you know this shit's coming. So, I don't know. It really didn't sit well with me. I think it would have been best if they would have took Black Swordsman Guts, which is the Guts you see at the very beginning of the 97 anime, the very beginning of the manga. It's where the Black Swordsman's Guts is after the Eclipse, but he's just going on a rampage, like going around finding these giant-ass monsters, killing them for revenge. Hey, they should have used that as the tutorial. Have used this massively overpowered, badass motherfucker fucking up all these guards and shit for this town, finding an apostle and whooping his ass. And that wouldn't have given anything away, and it would have shown you how to play the game without much danger. And it would have been just a really cool intro. That's, to this day, my favorite introduction in the game is Star Wars The Force Unleashed, where you get to start off as Darth Vader, and you are a overpowered motherfucker.
The whole point of that starting off fuck shit up.
Yeah, like, instead of putting on, kid gloves and giving you this shitty little tutorial, they make you such an overpowered badass you can't fuck up, and you just learn the game by wrecking everyone's shit. That's how they should have done this. That would have been fucking perfect, but they didn't. So, I don't know. I could probably
instead of the lead up to Guts being a bad motherfucker, he should already just be known that he's a bad motherfucker, like right out the gate.
Yeah, I don't know. I could keep talking about this. I probably will talk about it more because I'm going to keep playing this game. But overall, say if you don't like. If you're not into Berserk and you don't like Dynasty Warrior games, I'd say this is a 5 out of 10. If you like either, it's a 7 or 8 out of 10. So yeah, there's that.
Very nice. I'm glad you finally got it, because I know you've been my phone talking for a while about wanting to pick that game up.
I'm just glad there's a Berserk game. It was even a top seller on Steam for a little while, so. Apparently it's semi-popular.
Well, that's cool, because, if that's popular now, that means that'll lead to more later on.
I hope we finally get, like, some kind of good adaptation. And, another thing I wanted to bitch about real quick is
go ahead.
They left out the Lost Children arc in Berserk, which is, like, my favorite fucking arc. I know story, like, plot-wise, it's the most easily thrown away arc in the series, because it doesn't really develop anything besides showing, like, the darkness that's within Guts, like the lengths he will go to for revenge, this complete disregard for his own humanity to kill these motherfuckers. And it's just such a badass part of the story that everything leaves out so far besides the manga. The new anime that they released last year, and they're continuing in April, it skipped over it. This game completely fucking skipped over it. I'm like, God damn it. This thing needs some other portrayal besides the manga. It's such a great part of the story. It pisses me off.
Maybe some of them good old American developers will just make a good Americanized live-action adaptation of it.
No.
It's going to happen to you, Brandon. They're going to remake your shit, and they're going to shit on it.
They're going to
dookie for days all over it. It's like a rainforest of shit.
I'll be paying a visit to somebody that shit.
Be careful what you say.
Don't fuck with my Berserk.
Brandon will go berserk on your motherfucking ass. Very good. I do enjoy Berserk. I would actually still one of the things I'd like to be able to sit down eventually and catch myself up and watch everything that's been released.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a handful of the new episodes. I've seen the DVDs, the ARC movies you've brought over. And what was that?
I don't know. It was something.
Something made a noise. Anyways. Very nice. Well, the game I'm going to barely talk about tonight, I just figured I'd bring it up, and you could talk about it with me, because we have talked about it before, but I got my hands at Pints and Pixels last night. They have a crispy, brand spanking new, still had the Namco box in the back, Pac-Man Battle Royale.
Fuck yeah.
And me and Emerald actually sat down and beat a few Yeppy-like people last night. I even got a cheers out of one of them when I ate his ass fucking third, fourth time. Cheers. And they walked away. I just imagined they were like, let's go the fuck over here and talk about what Trump's fucking up next.
Yeah.
Shit. I scuffed my dad's boat shoes against that machine. But they got a sick one. Me and Brandon first encountered Pac-Man Battle Royale at the first Southern Fried we went to, which was the second Southern Fried, I do believe.
2014?
2015.
2015.
Yeah,
2015.
2015, when we went there. And the one we seen on hand was a fucking monstrous cabinet, like huge.
Yeah, had 4 pedestals set up on it and a massive TV on it.
It had a huge marquee on top.
Yeah.
The one they have at Pints and Pixels is the more modest one. It's a tabletop one,
yeah,
but it's
cocktail.
still pretty large for a cocktail table. Got a lot of surface area. Got 4 cup holders built into the top, perfect for slamming your beer down, which I had a drink last night I'd like to highly recommend that my friend conned me into getting, and it was called a liquid green Luigi.
Huh.
You must try that sometime. It's like fucking pineapple, a bunch of blue shit. It'll make you shit rainbow sherbet for a couple of days, but it'll be okay. But anywho, we played it last night. I got my ass eat the first 2 times because I kind of forgot the basics of it for just a second. And I ended up determining a good strategy is using the fuck out of them tunnels. Because people forget about them tunnels. And that's what I was doing last night.
Back and forth.
I was camping like a motherfucker. I'd just sit over here and wait on somebody to eat the fruit or something, and dot appear, and I'd just ease around the corner and just sit there and wait. And that dude that cheered me or whatever, he kept coming over there, getting close to it. Right when he get within distance where I'm like, I can run his ass down.
Yeah.
Now I just eat that motherfucker and get him. Like I got him twice. Emma ended up like winning 3 or 4 times. It took us about 30 minutes to get on the cabinet. And, or maybe, shit, it might have been longer than that. Maybe like an hour. We ended up staying on it for about 20 minutes. I fucking love that game.
It's great. I really want that on my cabinet.
Me too. I don't think is there a port of Battle Royale? And it's on a collection, maybe.
Yeah, there's a shitty version on Steam that I don't recommend. Because it's got this huge ass, like, digital marquee or bezel all the way around the game. So it's like this tiny portion of the screen that's being used. And it sucks because of that.
You just don't get the feeling of it because, like, playing the one like we played last night, like, you literally, it's like playing, I mean, you are, it's not like doing it, it is. It's like, it's the future Pac-Man.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
it's pretty cool.
I did enjoy the 4-player element of it because it allows for some social interaction. You know, like last night, me and Emerald didn't know either one of those people we were playing. We played 2 couples and then the 2 dudes that went off and saved the rainforest, and then we played a couple other just random people.
It's so sad. It could easily be another 10, 20 years before we see a ROM of that floating around.
Oh, yeah.
A working ROM, I should say.
You'd have to have a pretty beastly PC, I'm assuming, to run it fluidly.
Probably.
The music's like crazy on that shit. It's like all pulse. It's the same music from like Pac-Man DX, or whatever. That real pulse pounding techno shit.
I mean, the game itself doesn't have any real like graphical oomph to it. I guess you'd say it's still Pac-Man, but because it's run on newer hardware, emulating that new hardware could still be quite the undertaking. So
it's very trippy. Like there's a lot of like trippy effects, I guess you could say, like a lot of like motion blurs and the neons and all that shit.
The little color tethers to your character, so you know like where you're at.
Yeah, that's fucking key.
Yeah,
because I noticed Emerald when she first started last night, she was purple and the other guy was pink. You know, they're not that many shades different, and like especially when 2 other players have eaten the power pellets and shit's blinking. Like I noticed last night a couple times, she would end up watching the wrong fucking Pac-Man and getting herself.
Yeah, I've done that myself.
Eat the fuck up, you know. It's pretty cool. One other arcade I did play last night, and the gun wasn't working too on point. That was disappointing, as I've never played it. But they got a versus duck hunt machine.
Oh yeah,
I've
been wanting to check that out.
It was pretty cool. But that's about all I've done. I hadn't really played anything. I've been playing Animal Crossing still. Just my shoe store Kicks opened in downtown Leon yesterday, so. Add me, Lifestyle Town Leon. Come on by and see our downtown.
Get you some kicks.
Yeah, leave some money so I can pay Tom Nook. He's sending people to my house with baseball bats at night now, wondering where his goddamn 449,000 bells are. He's like, come back, oh do. I'm going to break your fucking kneecaps. Oh, I will. Thank you, Tom Nook.
Man, I've been thinking about redoing a lot of shit on my arcade. I really want to swap over to LCD or LED. It's gonna take some work that I can't put any time into right now. Maybe during the summer I can put some into it, but
I thought about maybe during the summer as well. Sometime I ain't no real big hurry. I want to redo mine. I'd like to put a new monitor or something in that one. I'm thinking about talking to Josh Duncan and getting me him or Michael and get some sort of bezel printed for around that.
Yeah, I want to redo I really want to redo all my art because now that I've done it, I know all the mistakes I made and where I want to do the same art. I just want to fix my little fuck ups, and some of them aren't my fuck ups, like my marquee or Odom's Glass Coleman. I'm calling bullshit on them. They can't cut a fucking square.
Oh, dude, not lying. I had the same problem when I had that little Freddy Krueger cabinet. I called and just gave them the measurements I needed, and like there was not a single straight fucking edge on any piece of that. The sides, where it's like factory cut on because the width, I guess they already had, in the sheet cut, but like the sides on top and bottom, man, it was fucking janky. And it ended up looking good because I had to put that glass in. I had to caulk top and bottom, and like
they saw it hit it.
Yeah, being a construction worker, I can run a fucking caulk gun, and you can make the shit look good. But I'm like, me paying you that money, I shouldn't have to fucking do that.
It's fucking insane. That it wasn't much. I
got Lexan, and I know Lexan's harder to cut than glass.
Yeah,
but still, if you're going to be in that kind of business.
Yeah, I've got
when in Rome.
I think I got Lexan. I'm not sure. Whichever one's the scratch resistant. I think
Lexan.
I know Lexan is bust resistant, like crack resistant, but there's one that's scratch resistant.
I don't know Lexan.
No, wait. I got regular plexiglass.
That jolly little fuckwad that I had come out to wrap that cabinet with the vinyl. And decided he was going to try to put the vinyl on the glass and cut the fucking bezel out on top of it and carved. After I got all that shit put in and had it looking good, he just stone fucked it. That's a whole other idiot. And if you're listening, fuck you.
Yeah, don't go to Odom's Glass. I swear. I didn't pay much for it, or I would have thrown a fit, but that marquee, the sides of it were very jacked up, and the plexiglass I got from Lowe's, I had them cut it for me, and it was perfectly straight. I'm like, this guy who I paid $0 cut it perfectly, and you motherfuckers who do nothing but plexiglass and glass couldn't cut it straight. What the fuck? So, yeah, if you're at the Coleman area, don't go buy Odom's Glass. Fuck them people. They don't know what they're doing.
Thank you for the lawsuit.
No, fuck it.
Yeah, that's true.
They want me to give them a good review, do good work.
I'm in the same boat with you. That's where I went to. It's not far from my home right here. That's where I went to get that piece up, and it was jank the fuck up.
Yeah,
for real.
As far as good work around here, our buddy Josh Duncan at Graphics Guys, they'll print you all some damn good art. They'll give you all kinds of tips and stuff too. So
yeah, he's done a couple of the Zelda maps I have hanging up, and I have a really keen ass fucking Mario arcade poster he done me on a high quality stock. Give them guys a call. Check out Graphic Guys. Yeah. There's y'all's free plug, dude.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
Check them
all
out.
The problems with my art is pretty much my fault because, I'm new to this. So I'm going to get it redone eventually.
I'm thinking about, instead of having to rearrange my buttons and doing all that, just ordering a whole new fucking control panel.
Yeah, you can do that.
Because, that one, cell phone, what the fuck? Some of them microwaves seeping through our brain holes.
Yep.
But anyways, I was looking, and that one, when I took it to Robert to fix it, it wasn't shit to take out of there. 4 screws.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that's what I'm gonna
do. I want to redo my buttons and stuff. Like I want to keep the same buttons. But I want to go. I really want LEDs in there. I fucked up with my control panel by not getting it printed on matte vinyl. Instead, I got it on glossy vinyl. LEDs plus the glossy vinyl and the plexiglass makes it look like someone spilled a fucking Coke on it or something.
Yeah, it's constantly wet looking.
Yeah. So that's one reason I don't have the LEDs. Another reason is on the joysticks. There's no good way to light those without using slip rings, and slip rings aren't cheap. So slip rings are little wire deals that you can twist indefinitely, and they'll never twist your wires up. So
yeah,
you gotta have a slip ring for every one. I've got 4 joysticks, so that's gonna be like about $100 for all that, just for lights and 4 fucking spots.
If I just had money just to piss out of my ass with to fuck around, I had an idea for that. I've been doing a bunch of Googling and researching like pinball MAME and shit.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool. Imagine like in the middle, up there, up top, underneath the marquee, you could rig up like a fold down screen, just kind of like in a car or something, and that could be like a marquee on the back of a pinball table and have the buttons on the side there, and just be able to boot up like pinball MAME and play it like that.
Yeah. Fold
the little screen down. It wouldn't, in theory, be that hard to fucking do.
I've really considered setting up a video pinball. I really like the one that
Michael's got.
Michael's got, yeah. I think I'm just gonna hold out and get me a real one though.
I like the physics of a real pinball machine. Yeah. Like I like that nudging, and
because the main reason I want this is just to get better at pinball, and you're not gonna get better at pinball with video pinball.
See, that's kind of my deal. Is like I would like to be able to eventually straight to L in Huntsville. They have a bunch of pinball tournaments and shit up there. Yeah. I would actually like to be good enough to go and and not go in Southern Fried this next year. Actually enter some of them tournaments and compete.
Yeah.
Because I've been doing a little more research in competitive like pinball play, and a lot of them dudes, man, hit like 150 million and more than that, like on one fucking ball.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, good God, man.
Yeah, you can't get that good without your own pinball machine.
There's just no way your reflex speed's going to be near as tight playing on video, because I don't care whether it's a nanosecond or not, there's going to be some sort of lag.
That and the physics are different.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was trying to say, I guess, but I'd rather have a real one. Me and Emma's actually wanting one too. Me and her checked into how much it would cost for us to finance a Ghostbusters pinball machine, and
You're looking to tune up $4 or $5 for the low models.
5 to 6 for a low Ghostbusters.
Shit. Oh yeah, because it is brand new.
I could. My credit was good enough where I could finance one. They're like, you can actually get a low payment of only $89 a month. And I told them, I was like, yeah, and I'm gonna be paying on that motherfucker for 10 years. Yeah, but I'm gonna be like, however old I will be at the end of my life, sitting on my deathbed, and I'm like, oh, did you get the Ghostbusters pinball paid off? And it was like, no, I didn't. That was the moment he faded away. Speaking of Ghostbusters pinball randomly, though, something I haven't seen yet. You know, in the movie Ghostbusters, at the very beginning, the first ghost they encounter in the library, where he goes, okay, stay close, do exactly what I say. Now get her! And you know how her face, she turns into like the demonic-looking ghost. Emma hit some shit on that last night. There's a thing, it's called symmetrical book stacking. She hit it 3 times, and there were people playing the machine beside her, and the one beside them were playing. She hit it, and the screen goes black, or the whole pinball machine goes pitch dark, and the fucking face of that librarian appears on the marquee, and it lets out the most loud, banshee-like scream.
Hell yeah.
And it done it, and the people over here are just like, what the fuck? Like, turned around and looked real quick, because it's very, very fucking abrupt.
Nice.
I told him, I was like, that is fucking awesome. I would like to actually be able to see what all kind of secret modes and shit that motherfucker's got programmed on it. But anywho.
Yeah, I want to get me Spider-Man pinball. I like to get me that Return to Pinball. Or was it Return or Bride?
It's Bride of Pinball.
Return to Pinball, the Bride of Pinball.
Bride of the Machine. Yeah, it's something fucking stupid.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Highlander 2, The Quickening.
Yeah.
Alpha Redux Edition.
I want Hard Bodies. Hard Bodies is nice.
What was it that dude says to me? Hey, it was
the best game you played tonight. And
I said something. He was like, you're wrong, it's Hard Bodies. And I just kind of want to be like, fuck you.
Hard Bodies was good just because it was unique. And plus it was fucking awesome with all these buffed up chicks on it.
Yeah. Nightmare on Elm Street would be one of mine. You would like it a lot. It's got a shit ton of rails and swipes and stuff like that on it. I seen too where they're in talks. Stern had been talking about doing an Aliens pinball machine. Nice. I'm like, that could be the fucking tits.
Yeah.
Have a giant ass queen or some shit that like tail swipe the ball back at you. That'd be fucking cool.
Hell yeah.
As a motherfucker.
I like to have a Godzilla pinball machine that's not the 1999 American Godzilla.
Every time you like hit 5,000 points, Matthew Broderick's like, these are gigantic earthworms. This is the worst pinball machine ever. Oh, that's great. Well, we don't have any, but, you know, we do have a phone number you can call if you'd like to berate us, talk to us, celebrate with us, actually have a wet pussy around your house that isn't turned to concrete dust. Call us.
682-777-good. Dial the number, you know you should. Leave us a message, you know it gives us one. 682-777-good. Yeah.
Always good.
682-777-4663.
If you want to get a hold of us via email, Lyle or Brandon at goodolegamers.com or podcast at goodolegamers.com. Something that has to be said that I just remembered. Bit of late breaking news. And I have to, since I just talked about aliens and talk about aliens all the time, something I need to go on and put out there because he is in part the reason we sign off the way we do. Today, Bill Paxton died. And I think that's pretty fucking lame. Because I actually enjoy Bill Paxton. I actually liked his movies. There isn't many things I mean, I'm sure there's shit he's been in I haven't seen, but there hasn't been anything that I have seen that I disliked. Fucking Tombstone, Aliens, Predator 2, Terminator. They also point out he's one of the only people he's been killed by the Terminator, the Alien, and the Predator.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, wow, he really fucking has, if you think about it. He's the street punk in fucking Terminator that Arnold punches through.
Hell yeah.
The guy with blue hair. He's Hudson.
Yeah.
Fucking in Aliens. And then he's the extra detective that gets his spine ripped out on the subway in Predator 2. Also featuring Danny Glover. There he is again.
Yeah.
Oh, too old for shit. But yeah, he's 61 years old. He died from complications of surgery today, and that sucks. I mean, hate to see anybody that I enjoy. Twister. I love fucking Twister. Another great movie. Even though it's pretty much him driving a truck for 2 hours going, son of a bitch, god damn it.
Talking about Predator, just it got on my mind because the other day I was scrolling through YouTube shit, and one of them I clicked on was just like a 10-hour reel of, I can't remember which one it was from, but what Arnold is meeting Dylan, and it's like, Dylan, you son of a bitch. And they do like the hand grasps, like the muscled up arms. They're like, yeah.
Oh man,
it's like that over and over and over.
I can't remember what it is. That part where he figures out, and for those you don't know, Dylan is a fucking Apollo Creed, and he finds out that part that he sold him out or whatever. I can't remember what it is Arnold says. He's like, something about, you sold us out. He's just like, I'm a commander. I had to do what I had to do. Or some just fucking shitty 80s, but
yeah.
Yeah, you son of a bitch.
That is the line I used a shitload on prank calls, too, using the Arnold soundboard.
I remember you
son of a bitch.
How are you?
Yeah.
Now I want to know who is your daddy and what does he do?
That's the best thing about 56K modems is dialing up with the modem using a soundboard.
There's a guy I work with that has an app on his phone that automatically uses soundboards, and like it'll wait for a response from the person before playing the next one. He called this crackhead dude that he knows the other day, and this guy was in another work van, and I heard him be like, y'all need to get your shit together. I don't know you no fucking $2,000. And he called him, and it was just like, sir, you went over your data 32 gigabytes and all this shit. And like the guy that played it, though, the app records the whole phone call, and you can go back and listen to it. And I'm like, that is amazing.
Hell yeah.
But talking about the soundboard and you having that Arnold Schwarzenegger, completely off Bill Paxton now. We'll go back to it in a minute. But anyways, the part where it's like the sound clip you had where he's like, I hope your stomach has enough room in it for my fist because I'm going to ram it into you and break your goddamn spine.
Hell yeah.
So I'm going to ram it into your stomach and break your goddamn spine.
I loved I love Switchblade. No, Sling Blade, not Switchblade, Blue. Sling Blade soundboard being was it Carl? I'd call KFC or any of these country type restaurants, but like, yeah, I want to get me some biscuits and get them going on. I just get them rolling on about the order. But yeah, I like to put mustard on them. And then they're like, okay, sir, can I get your name? And then be like, you ought not kill my little brother. He weren't no bigger than a squirrel.
People are like, oh my God. Maybe we should turn this over to the authorities.
And they'd realize after a while it's a prank call and be like, oh, I see your number, blah, blah, blah. And I'd just be like, mm-hmm. What are you going to do? Call the fucking cops about fucking Carl from Sling Blade talking to you?
Oh, if you could have only got fucking...
I'm sure that's exactly what the cops want to do. That's all the shit they got to do all day. They want to come down to KFC and get a report about Carl from Sling Blade talking to him about biscuits.
Like, you mean to tell me you got me all the way up here for a prank phone call and you took me away from... I was chasing a meth head that was raping his own kid. And you called me up here for this shit? He's like, you think this is all I goddamn do all day? I can just imagine this cop that's fucking pissed.
I'm too old for this shit.
Of course they sent Danny Glover up there. He's like looking for fucking Mel Gibson. He's like, oh, God damn it. Too old for this shit. Who would have ever figured Danny Glover would become a seminal part of the Good Ole Gamers podcast? Motherfucker must really be out of work.
Hell yeah.
But anyways, Bill Paxton, rest in peace, man, and thank you for inspiring our ending tagline.
Yeah.
That we're going to hit you with right now. Check us out on all the usual media and all that shit. You know where to find us. Email us, call us, or don't. Whatever the fuck you want to do.
That's cool.
Why so mad, bro? But
we're just talking into the abyss right now. It don't really matter.
Yeah, there was that abyss of faces. It's all just like an abyss of faces of Danny Glover. Conjoined all, we're all too old for this shit. But in the words of Bill Paxton, his character Hudson in Aliens, game over, man.
Game over.